my name is Rachel, and I'm going to offer a Monday mid-morning slow flow practice. Of course, if you're watching this later, you don't have to wait for the following Monday to join in, but wanting to offer tools that can be of support to all of us in these times. And yoga has certainly a lot to offer, a well-rounded practice rooted in the 8 limbs of yoga and the philosophy, which is rooted in non-harming, and how we might practice that in our thoughts, words, and actions towards ourselves and towards others. And particularly what I'm finding in my practice of yoga and meditation is that the practice helps me, it expands my capacity to be with uncertainty, with non-closure. So that's something I think that is relevant for everyone right now, not just me personally, but everyone that's here on this planet. So wanting to offer my practices is rooted in mindfulness. It's rooted in cultivating awareness of presence, cultivating the ability to be the witness of our own experience. So if you're joining me today, I'll invite you, I'll orient you hopefully with my language to be in your own body. It won't be so much that you have to do what I'm doing, but a lot of what I'll invite us into today is almost some organic movement as well as some traditional yoga forms. So I invite you, if you are able to find a place to sit, whether you're seated on a chair, and I have a chair here I'll demo some things from, or the floor. I'm also using a bolster underneath my hips. I'd invite yourself to, first of all, notice where you are in space and time visually, noticing what's around you in your environment, and then centering and focusing your gaze. We're going to do a little centering, so if you want to close your eyes, you can, or you can leave them open. You're welcome to let the hands rest palms down, which has the potential to invite a deeper sense of grounding, or palms up, which has the potential to invite openness and curiosity. A couple other hand positions I've been using lately, placing a hand on my heart and a hand on my belly. This is something that I do to help me with overwhelm. And it just, to me, this feels comforting, so that may or may not show up for you, but inviting yourself to explore just this very basic way of supporting yourself through a hand position, which in yoga are called mudras. And then inviting yourself to notice that you're breathing. Before we shift and alter the breath in any way, just invite yourself to notice and witness the rise and fall of your own breath in your body. And just by noticing the breath, this is our indicator of being alive. To me, just this act of shifting my awareness to my breath, I notice that gratitude can just spontaneously arise. You may notice this or something else entirely. And then we'll invite ourselves to bring intention into our breath. So we're obviously breathing, but we can bring intention and we can shift and alter our breath in many ways. We're just changing the ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide. For our intents and purposes here, I'm going to invite us into slowing our breath down. This has the potential to be grounding and calming. And we'll do that in and out through the nose, but if that's not available to you, you can use your mouth. So your next available inhale, bringing a little bit more air in as you breathe in. Slowly releasing, letting that exhale all release, let go. The next breath arises, bringing a little bit more air in as you breathe in. And invite yourself to let everything go. I recognize in my practice of noticing that I'm carrying around a lot of constriction in my body lately. So being able to soften and release and let go of some of that constriction. focus the mind on sensation when we're in our practice. I don't focus on so much alignment as sensation in the body. And when we've gone over our edge, then that generally what shows up in the breath is that the breath becomes it becomes difficult to breathe. So we know when we've gone over the edge, when we can't breathe. But here we just invite ourselves to notice the balance. I'm noticing the balance of ease and effort in my breath. Noticing the effort in the inhale and the ease on the exhale. So wanting to create a balance of effort and ease in our practice today, taking another deep breath in. And exhale. If you like, you can rub your hands together. I like to do that when I'm transitioning from a contemplative state to a more active practice. And I have blocks that I'll be using. If you have those, you're welcome to use them. If not, pay attention to your body. And we'll begin by linking breath and movement together. So on your next available inhale, bringing the arms up and exhaling. So if your range of movement does not include the arms out to the side, the important thing here is to link breath and movement if possible. So that can look very different. It can look like your arms coming up and down, coming to the range of movement that feels right for you, to the edge of sensation. Linking breath and movement. And your pace and flow may be very different from mine, and that is all well and good. And we'll do one more breath cycle. Again, just noticing what it feels like to breathe and move. And then taking your time to come back to center, breathing in, breathing out. And just invite yourself to notice where in your body movement might just arise for you right now. Maybe in your hands, or for me right now it's sort of my neck and my head. Just inviting a little organic movement to happen, linking your breath to that movement. And again, your movement might be in another part of your body. Maybe you need to wiggle your toes or move your hips around. And then coming to center. And I'll invite you to come to standing. Okay. So when you come to standing, invite yourself to let your feet, if that's available to you. If not, if you're in a chair, you can still come to the edge of your seat and be more engaged in your core. So whether you're seated in the chair or standing on the mat, inviting yourself to explore any available connection with your feet to the floor, whether you're standing on a mat or not. And if it's available to you, connect into that sensation of engaging the ball joints, the big toes, the little toes, and the heels. And what I notice when I do that is I'm not locking my joints. I can feel that sense of being grounded and rooted into the earth. I can feel the muscles in my calves, my quads, a little tuck in my tailbone. The shoulders come back. And what I notice when I'm engaging like this is that I also can find my wiggle. When we lock into the joints, it maybe feels a little bit more stable because we can't move, but we're supposed to move. So I invite you to find your wiggle, move around the joints that are available to you to move, the range of motion, feet, hands, shoulders, hips, maybe move a bunch of things at the same time. So invite yourself to find your wiggle. All right, so we're going to move into a slow flow, but first we'll come to, whether we're seated or standing, we'll ground, and by connecting our core, let the navel come into the spine, Open the heart. And then go ahead and inhale the arms all the way up if that's available to you, or out to the side, whatever shows up for your body. Breathing in and out. And this is the symbol of resilience, tall mountain. Celebrating your resilience, celebrating the collective resilience of all beings. And then taking a deep breath in. Exhale, bringing your hands to your heart center. Again, this is the place where people all over the world intuitively know to come to show reverence for life. So as we move through our flow, if you want to offer your practice as an embodied prayer, I do that every day. That feels right to you, you're welcome to do that. But when we come into the heart center, we can take a moment to just pay attention to being alive, feeling the breath in our body, the beat of our own heart, cultivating that awareness of being here, breathing in and breathing out. And then releasing your hands. So we're going to move, I'll invite us into a slow mindful flow practice, a brief one, and at some point I'll invite you to engage in what I call organic movement, just letting your body sort of move and allow movement or stillness as it shows up for you. So I have blocks here. I also have a chair here. So if wayfaring on your upper body isn't available to you and you need a little bit of support, those are some supports you can use for yourself. Again, the chair or blocks. And blocks have the 3 heights, so you can move them as you choose. But inviting yourself, whether you have a mat or you're just on a carpet or a wooden floor, to connect in whatever way makes sense to you in your body, really finding that connection with the earth, recognizing that everything that has life that is on this earth is breathing in and out as you are right now. Inviting the hands once again to come to prayer, feeling the beat of your own heart, the breath in your body. And that invitation that Mary Oliver gives us, what will you do with your one wild and precious life? And what does that mean to you now? Breathing in and out. And then we'll inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, bending the knees, coming all the way down. If you don't like to let your head hang, you can keep your gaze lifted. If not, you can let the head hang. And then strong legs, root to rise, coming all the way up. Exhale into a standing squat, bending at the ankles. I like this form because it really connects me to the earth. I feel very solidly grounded. Notice if any heat is rising. Notice the muscles you're engaging. Notice your breath, and then we'll inhale again. And again, exhale, coming all the way down. And look up and lengthen. And go ahead and step back with the left foot. Again, you can have your hands on the chair or on blocks like I do. And give yourself permission to move around a little bit, maybe bend and straighten the knees. Paying attention to your breath, noticing any shift or change in the muscles if you're moving. And then take your time to step the left foot up and bring the right foot back. And the same thing, giving yourself permission to move around. You might notice one side feels different than the other. That's typical in most of our bodies. Notice the balance of ease and effort. And then take your time to step the right foot up. Strong legs, root to rise, coming all the way up. And then we'll exhale. We'll let our hands come to our hips. And here, shifting your weight to the right foot, making sure you don't lock the knees. You can step the left foot back, or if you want to slow motion, bring it up and play with balance a little, step it back. All right, and then we're grounding our energy in the back leg, connecting to our core, opening our heart. We gently bend that front knee, we engage the feet, and take the time to feel your frame. Feel the structure around that's supporting you. This is giving me comfort, just feeling things like structures right now, the solidity of that structure. And then coming into Virabhadrasana 1, inviting yourself to explore. Maybe this is typically the way I engage with this expression. Sometimes it feels nice to open your heart like this, bring the hands behind, hands to prayer. Give yourself permission to explore. All of these expressions feel very different. Variations on one form can all have very different energies. And then the next time you come to an inhale, go ahead and bring the arms up. And then exhale, we'll come into humble warrior, letting the arms come behind. Nice long spine. Hands can come to opposite wrists or elbows, or you can clasp and lift. Gaze can be forward or head can be dropped. Noticing your breath. Any micro movements in your body. Taking a deep breath in. Go ahead and exhale, releasing the hands, bringing them to either side of the right foot. And you can step right back to downward facing dog if you like, or come into any sort of vinyasa, classical vinyasa, cat-cow, child's, whatever feels right for your body. Again, your hands can be on the chair and walking out. Notice your breath. Take your time to walk your feet toward the front of your mat with your hands. Bending the knees, inhaling strong legs, root to rise. And exhale, we'll bring the hands to our hips once again. And then here we'll shift the weight into the left foot, and you can either step that right foot right back, or if you want to experiment a little bit with balance, you can do that slowly. Again, grounding, igniting, opening. Gently bending the knee, engaging, so you feel the structure around your muscles. And then finding your expression today. Maybe on this side, you're going to try something different or the same. Notice your breath. On your next available inhale, we'll bring the arms up. And exhale, coming into humble warrior. Grounding into that back foot as you lengthen the spine. You can change the way you have your hands on opposite wrist or change the way they're clasped. Notice your breath. And releasing your hands on your next available inhale. Taking your time to come all the way up, stepping the feet together. And bringing the palms together, exhaling. Coming back to our heart center. And again, breathing in and out, noticing the connection with the earth, your body, feeling perhaps your heart rate. Paying attention to being alive. Take a deep breath in when you're ready and release the hands. All right. So we're going to transition to the long side of our mat. If you like, you can bring the chair in front of you. And I should have mentioned this earlier. If you are using a chair and a yoga mat, make sure at least 2 legs of the chair are on the mat so it doesn't slide. So go ahead and come into a wider legged stance here. And you can have blocks in front of your mat if you like. All right, so we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold to start. Again, if you deal with dizziness, blood pressure issues, glaucoma, keep your gaze lifted. If it doesn't bother you to drop your head, you can drop your head. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhale, nice long spine, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Coming down here. So we have some options here. You can walk your arms forward and let your hips extend back. Sort of like a non-weight bearing upper body. You're doing a lot more work in the legs here. Another option is to bring the hands in towards either side of the feet. You can shift the weight around in your feet and feel the muscles being both stretched and strengthened. Taking another deep breath in. And then we'll go ahead and just let one arm come up on an inhale and down, and the other one, you can let the knee bend as you move to one side. And then maybe when you come over to one side, come all the way up. Opening up space. Coming into maybe a side angle. Sweeping down to center. Again, coming up the other side. So sort of allowing your body to find its own way of moving. You can stay on one side. Opening up the side body for a few breaths. Come back to center and stay here for a few breaths, or come back and forth either side. So giving yourself permission to do what feels right for your body. Do this for a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you can come back through to a wide-legged forward fold at center. Breathing in, breathing out. Take your time to bring your heels toward one another, a little bend in both knees. Coming into a little bit of a squat, and then slowly, slowly come up. All right, so noticing what's present in your body after opening up space, after moving. That's what we do in a mindfulness-based practice, is we engage with awareness of sensation in our body, noticing what's present. And then after we engage in the action, we notice the impact. So this can be helpful to us. We can invite ourselves to notice what types of movement ground and calm, what types of movement energize and motivate. And then we have ways of understanding how to use tools to help us regulate our central nervous systems. So that's how I offer practice, that's how I teach. I encourage you to find ways, not just through yoga, but other movements, and we'll explore a couple of those before we finish our practice today. So I'll invite us into a form that's likely familiar to you, Vrikshasana, tree. And tree is typically done as a balance. It doesn't have to be. A tree can just be this idea of being rooted and grounded and connected in some way, and feeling that connection and honoring it. This can be tree, like this. It can be seated in the chair. It can be a standing balance. You can have a toe on the mat and a heel above the ankle, anywhere but the knee joint. So that idea of being rooted and grounded, invite yourself to connect and root and ground yourself physically. And you might even explore what else is rooting and grounding you now. If it's different ways of connecting with people, ways of exploring connection. It can also be the trees that are suddenly blooming to life here in southwestern Pennsylvania. So you can invite yourself to explore what expression is showing up for you. We'll do this twice. Your hands can be any expression that feels right for you. Giving yourself permission to come in and out of it in any way that shows up for you. Noticing the connection that you have in your body to the earth. Exploring that. One more breath. And take your time to shift, taking a breath in and out. And then we'll come into that again. So if you are doing it as a balance, you can shift perhaps to the other leg. And giving yourself permission to explore this feeling of being rooted and connected. Seeing new life emerge even in challenging times. We can seek to embody some of the wisdom in these forms, these asana forms. Ask to be informed by them off the mat. Taking a deep breath in. And go ahead and release. And then I'm going to invite you into one of my favorite movements of all times. It's this. And I find when I do this, I feel a lot of freedom. I likely have a cellular memory of doing this as a child. We see little children doing this until we slap backpacks on them. So invite yourself to find some freedom in that movement. And then slowing that movement down. That's a good movement if you're sitting a lot to just get up and do. Find your wiggle. Put on a 3-minute dance song and wiggle, and then just invite this movement and then invite it to slow down. And then we'll just invite a couple slow breaths, and I'll do a brief meditation. So again, we'll inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale the hands to our heart center. Inhale, coming up. And exhale. And you can invite yourself through this sequence, perhaps imagining sending out love to people that are ill, people that are healthcare workers and essential workers, people that are, in my heart today, I have space for those who are undocumented and have no clear sight of relief. So bringing anybody in any category of people into this embodied offering from your heart out to the world. Whoever that is, and of course including yourself. And the next time we land at the heart center, connecting there, breathing in, breathing out. Noticing your breath. I notice my breath has more space after physically moving my body. You might notice that or something else. And taking another deep breath in. And I'm going to come to seated and just offer a brief closing. I'm so happy that you tuned in to this practice. I'm going to try to do one of these a week. I'll do one exclusively from a chair. And if there's anything else that you want to see that's rooted in mindfulness-based practice, please reach out and let me know. I'd be happy to share. Doing what I can, and this is what I can do, this is what I know, so I'm sharing what I know in the hopes that it may be of support, and especially to those who are in the front lines right now. A lot of my coworkers are healthcare workers, and I'm thinking of them in my thoughts and prayers every day across the country. So if you like, you can come to a seated position, or you can even lie down if that feels more supportive to you. And you can even lie on your belly or your side. So part of this practice is observing what would be supportive to me and choosing skillful action that honors my own inherent worth, and then of course extending that out from ourselves to other beings. So as we continue to breathe in, breathe out together, feeling the beat of your own heart, rise and fall of your own breath, paying attention to being alive, recognizing we're seeing at both extremes the fragility and the fortitude of life. So I'll briefly share with you my 3-point practice that I use often. And the first one is paying attention to being alive. We do that through the being in our bodies and breathing, feeling our bodies in space and time, bringing the mind and the body together, connecting to sensation. And then the second one is committing to the act of remaining inspired. And this is one that's really important during these times. Unfortunately, there's a lot of wonderful things out there that people are creating content that is absolutely inspiring. So inviting yourself to be intentional about that, and as much as we need to be updated on the news, making sure you're spending time connecting to those who are beautifully and joyfully offering content that can open your heart. And the third one is unpacking the illusion of separation. And we can see, while we're connected through this enormous suffering, that we truly are one human family, and that we are all a part of creation. And so may all beings be well in their minds and in their body. May all beings be free and safe from harm. May all beings have peace. And may my thoughts, my words, and my actions contribute to the wellness, freedom, safety, and peace of all life, so be it. So let's take another breath in together. And exhale. And we'll do one more deep breath in. And exhale. Again, thank you for joining in today. I hope this practice it's my offering to the world, and please share widely and freely, especially if you are a healthcare worker, if anybody, if you're dealing with anxiety. It's my intention to offer tools. So thank you so much for being on this live video. But come towards you real quick here to sign off. Let's see who's all here. Matt, with Gil is watching from Texas. So nice to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.